Hello, and welcome into Backseat Filmmaking. Today, Derrick, Tanner, and I are going to be looking at 2025's The Running Man, directed by Edgar Wright and starring Glen Powell. Hope you enjoy. All right, welcome in everybody. Got the Running Man for you guys today. Tanner, why don't you hit us with a little synopsis?
Sure thing. A man joins a game show in which contestants allowed to go anywhere in the world are pursued by hunters hired to kill them.
All right. Seems interesting enough. Little November before the holiday season movie here. I guess that kind of shows that they didn't have a whole lot of faith in this one, huh? Just need your guys' first initial thoughts on The Running Man.
Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers ahead.
It had its fun moments.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I think didn't really know what it was going for, the way I kind of perceived it. It seemed like it wanted to do certain things, but couldn't keep to that and just kind of did a lot of things. It had its moments.
Mm-hmm.
But it just was kind of all over the place.
I'd have to agree with that. I think it felt incredibly unfocused. This movie was really frustrating, I think, because of that. It has its bright spots here and there, but they're so sporadic that the rest of the movie, it feels like a slog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's all that exciting. I think it being so unfocused, you don't ever really care about the characters or what's happening. The stakes don't feel real. It never really hooked me at any point, honestly.
And I know you've seen pretty much all of Edgar Wright's filmography.
Yeah, I would say I'm a huge fan, but I think as of late, it seems like he is on a bit of a downward slope, and I was hoping this movie would be more of a return to form, and it felt like even a further divergence from some of his earlier work, unfortunately.
Was this the last straw for you with Edgar Wright? Is there any saving your viewership?
Like, as much as I want to be a hater and say no, like the guy, he's made so many films that I legitimately love.
So what have you done for me lately, League, though?
It definitely can be, I think, but I do think anybody that is as talented as him, you've earned my patronage for life. I will always be a customer at his films and always hope for the best with them. I always go in with an extremely high expectation. And I do think that's part of the reason why this movie is so disappointing for me. I definitely had high hopes for it. And it unfortunately, left me with a lot to be desired.
So we still got your price of admission for a $5 Tuesday, just maybe not a Thursday opening night anymore.
Yeah, I'd say definitely a $5 Tuesday, but do not expect this to, knock any socks off.
Well, what'd you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Glen Powell fan. I was excited to see him get a lead billing in a movie and see what he had for it. I think like a movie like this, these dystopian slums and elites, we've seen this so many times over the past decade, like this type of story. And I imagine Stephen King kind of wrote this before this kind of really became popular, but you're watching it and you already know what's going to happen. You've seen this play out so many times. There was nothing original enough to really make me go, oh wow, that stands out to me. He's going to be the hero of the day and he's going to be the initiator, and it was just all very flat.
Well, I guess, okay, so as a Glen Powell enjoyer, how do you think Glen Powell stacked up in this?
I thought the movie let him down, completely honest. I thought he was the only one trying to bring any real stakes to it, and I think the writing and the world building around him really had him fall short. I will say something like this may not be where I think he's going towards in terms of like movie stardom. Where I like Glen Powell is in his charisma and in his quips. I buy that he can be a physical actor, and like I don't have any reason to think that he couldn't like kick some ass.
Well, let me ask you this then, because the movie goes out of its way at multiple points to state that he's the angriest man alive, basically. Would you ever think casting wise, you're going, okay, we got to cast a guy, we got to cast our lead who's supposed to be able to portray such anger, like such palpable anger. Glen Powell, is that your guy? I just think he's horribly miscast in this. I don't think this is a reflection of his capabilities, but I do think that, the movie 100% let him down.
And
it's a shame.
I agree with you, because I was telling you guys, I don't buy him as somebody that, there's these lines where he's like, I'm going to punch through this glass and like over the top, you would think of a Schwarzenegger or a Stallone type of like action hero, like just kind of almost a superhero in a human world. And
like these action figure type guys.
Right. And guy's ripped, but he's not like overly overpowering anybody.
He's very pretty too.
That's also why I didn't really believe him being from the slums. He's got these nice pearly whites. He's chiseled. I mean, he's Glen Powell, man. He's great looking. And I'm not saying you have to look like shit. It would help the character, or at least for me to believe in the character coming from the bottom. Like, it's Glen Powell. Like, I just don't believe it.
Well, I think, not even just to believe the character more, but to believe the world more. It's like, wouldn't this guy who's incredibly like living in extreme poverty and the cards are stacked against him, his teeth would probably be a little more fucked up. He probably wouldn't be as ripped. Like he'd probably be pretty malnourished. I don't know. I'm just thinking like this guy is got a fucking 8-pack. The story tells me, and you see that he's from there, but I don't believe it. I never felt like any of this was believable at any step of the way. And I don't think that some of the other performances in the movie really helped that. And again, there are some highlights. Coleman Domingo steals the fucking show. He's over the top in the best way. He understands what he's doing and what his role is. Josh Brolin, he's not even really like over the top aside from like the veneers and stuff. Like I guess the way he looks kind of, but he sells like, this guy can be sinister and be like the bad guy.
Did he only shoot in one spot?
I'd imagine that was, it's like
just in the office that entire time.
You get to sit in a room and we shoot.
Easiest bag that guy's ever made. Are you kidding me?
I enjoyed Michael Cera. Gets to be zany and funny and goofy. That's great. But I don't think anybody else in the film got any sort of opportunity to shine.
And I just didn't really believe in the chemistry between him and his wife. Like the whole movie hinges on the fact that he's doing all this for his family. Like he hates everything, right? He's the angriest guy, but family is everything to him. And quite honestly, I just didn't get that connection between him and his wife. It just didn't agree with me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't believe it.
I do agree with that, especially like with how quickly they, a couple coughing kids in this movie. And like, that's how they get across that you're in the slums. And these kids need help.
Right.
Like, and it's just kind of surface level empathy pulling from the audience, and it just doesn't really scratch the itch.
I think my biggest complaint alongside, stuff like you not buying his relationship with his family and like why would we care? Because the movie clearly doesn't, but it tells you to. It spends more time on gags and just goofy shit than you making any sort of connection with the characters. So then when you're supposed to care about the characters, how could you? Like actually, how would it be possible to when majority of the runtime is you doing fucking gags? Sure, I like Edgar Wright's humor, but it felt like just turned up to 11 in the worst way, in my opinion. And it detriment to the story, detriment to the characters. Like you got to prioritize that first and then sprinkle in the gags. Why is it the other way around in this film? That really bothered me the whole time.
I believe more the chemistry between him and the car that he steals from that woman or like gets into, like they had more of a connection in their brief time together, even though they obviously weren't showing any like true like affection for one another, romantically. But
they need more
overall,
I
felt something at least between the two of them being, in the situation that they're in.
Right.
Then with him and his wife and child, like that. Honestly, that to me was like it was nothing. Like I didn't feel anything from it.
That part of the movie also felt really like weird.
Like when he takes the car and
because I was kind of upset that he never went to that bunker. It's just like, why introduce that if that's not if that's not the final act? I will say I did enjoy the action set pieces. I think the scene in the apartment complex was really fun. I think there were some really cool stunts in this movie. I really liked that bridge sequence taken from Baby Driver, that shot of him drifting the buggy. I thought that buggy was really cool.
For sure. I think all the stuff Michael Cera got to do, like
the Home Alone stuff,
and stuff, like that was a lot of fun.
I like my bacon extra crispy.
He loved that.
There are lines in this that are really funny and really good.
Dude,
but
the mom was way too much of a kook in that scene.
Yeah,
right?
it's a little
much.
Like
that.
You like that? Okay.
It was so dumb. Like I guess because of like what we had already seen from the movie. Why not at that point?
And the Lee Pace character, why even get Lee Pace to do that if you're not going to have any like real substance other than like he was a former running man? Awesome. I don't really care that much.
No, I also thought his reveal was super weak. It felt very anticlimactic, and then they did nothing with it, and then he dies. No stakes once again. The movie just never felt like it even cared about establishing any sort of stakes at all.
Going back to my point about, I just feel like I've seen this story so many times that it'd be hard for me to be twisted one way or another by it. I feel like for sci-fi, this isn't really sci-fi. It's
pretty sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi dystopian.
Yeah, dystopian, yeah.
A really weak score. You feel like something like this, you should be able to give us something that pulls us into this world, and I just think that's what this movie, it's just.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, personally, I really don't have a lot to say other than my frustrations.
Right. Do we have anybody for best performer?
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Coleman Domingo.
Yeah.
I mean, he was great every time he was on screen. Like I wanted to see more of him. personally, even though he was in it more than I thought he was gonna be. But like, he made me feel like something within the movie really when no one else did. It was like, I like this guy.
He's great.
He feels a part of this world that they wanted to go
he
for.
felt like he lived in
but
this
he
world,
was like really the only one that was keeping up.
He's the only
type
one
of
that understood
tone.
the assignment. He fucking crushed it, man. He was really terrific. Like legit a standout. So favorite performance? I'm
gonna go with my boy Glen Powell. I know it's his movie.
Yeah.
And he's in it the majority of the time. It's always from his POV. What I like from him, he's able to do in this movie. They let him be Glen Powell in certain moments when he's needing to be quippy, and I just think that's where he's at his best. You know, it's not a great performance, and just to veer off, I think Coleman hits 3 for 3 and drives in 4 with his performance. Like, he is the best performer in this. This is Glen Powell's movie.
Yeah.
And it's not a perfect role. I don't know if he would take this role again if it was offered, but I do think I saw enough of what I was expecting that I was like, yes, keep trying, keep going. You're going to be able to carry movies that maybe aren't like this, but I see it. I will still hold on to my Glen Powell stock.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, nice.
But yeah, I guess going right into scores, I think we talked about this movie exactly how we received it. I think I had a lot more fun, and you know, me, I was there for Glen Powell, and I got what I wanted. I wish I got better movie around him. And I thought he could be better for sure. I overall had fun. I thought the action was entertaining. I don't think it was anything close to like a great movie. Like, it just wasn't a good movie, but there was enough in it for me to settle in at a 7.6. I think the lowest review score I've given. Just disappointing because I did want more from this movie. I didn't feel anything about really any of the characters, and that sucks coming out of a movie. So it's what I'm gonna give it.
All right, Tanner, what do you got?
You're a little more generous than I'm gonna be, but just like everything, like I said, it had its fun moments. I did appreciate the supporting cast, what they had to offer for this movie. Like I said, Coleman Domingo kind of boosts my score a lot actually, because I mean, again, Bobby T, man, this guy puts on, dude. Like, I would watch his own movie of Bobby T, like if that were a thing. Give me that. Give me that.
Give me that. What? Give me that.
Like, I think Glen Powell did what I expected him to come out with this performance. Like, just kind of there, just like a big, you know, movie or like box office movie type of feel, but it didn't really capture, I guess, execution of what that movie would have made me feel from it. Overall, I think, like, if you're gonna go see this movie, go watch it in theaters, just like any movie, of course, but this one in particular, because I don't think I would watch this at home. I won't give it a rewatch. There was some fun. It wasn't all bad, but 5.6 is what I'm gonna give.
Okay. I'm going to be the harshest out of the three of us, if you couldn't already tell by the way I've spoken about this film. But I mean, just straight up, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. By far my lowest score I've given a film since we've started this show here. I feel like I'm very lenient on movies most times, actually. I feel like I will defend a lot of bullshit in movies. This one I almost couldn't stand. And the only reason I'm giving it a 4 out of 10, 1 point for Coleman Domingo, 1 for Josh Brolin, 1 for Michael Cera, and 1 for the stunts. That's my 4 out of 10. The rest of it, I was bored. I thought this was incredibly disappointing. Definitely my most disappointing movie of the year. I'd recommend checking it out on streaming. I'm not even going to say check this out in theaters. I think you'd be wasting your money. If you did want to see it in theaters that bad, watch it on a $5 Tuesday. I don't think you'd get a whole lot of, out of it necessarily.
Woo! Take my hoodie off.
I just think the atmosphere of the theater of any movie, at least, it heightens.
For sure.
Watching at home, I would probably turn it off.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, and I'm obviously a humongous advocate for seeing movies in their theatrical run, seeing them on the big screen, big auditorium.
Yeah.
With all the bells and whistles. That's great and all. I honestly just don't think this movie deserves it. 8 times are tough. Don't spend your money on this. Frankly, catch it when it goes on streaming if you have the service it's on. Best I got for it.
Yeah.
Sure.
That is fair.
So with that,
Sorry to leave on a sour note.
No. If that's how the movie makes you feel, how it makes, anything else.
I think that'll do it.
That'll do it. All right. That is The Running Man. How about you take us out of here, Mr. Dean?
Hey, fans and subscribers of Backseat Filmmaking. Thank you, viewers, for watching. You need to like, subscribe, comment, and generally don't break bad in the comments, all right? Because I'm gonna like kick your butt, all right? You don't want the DE after your ass. So do all that and support Backseat Filmmaking.